straight off, let me now bring on board Mr. Dilip Padgaonkar, consulting editor with Times of India, joins us live from Pune. Mr. Padgaonkar, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Padgaonkar, first let's talk about personalities and names which are involved in the UP elections. Akhilesh Yadav, that magic has worked. Uma Bharti is prepared, but Rahul Gandhi unfortunately has failed to fire.
I would say that one reason why Rahul Gandhi has failed to make a dent is primarily because he seemed to be pleasing absolutely everybody. That he kept on saying that the lot of people in Uttar Pradesh was terrible, but he didn't come up really with very concrete proposals about how he is going to change the living conditions of people. So he was perceived to be neither fish nor fowl, and I think he's paid for it. Or to be even more specific in the UP context, I think to be caste neutral and community neutral doesn't really work. That's what I think is the first lesson that Congress will have to learn.
So Dilip, what does Samajwadi Party's absolute majority mean for the UPN centre?
It could mean several things. All right, let's not jump the gun. I've been following the results very closely. I think the extrapolations made on the basis of leads tends to change from time to time, not significantly, but there is a change. So what could happen? One, despite everything else, finally the Samajwadi Party will need some support from the outside, whether it decides to take that support from the Congress or whether there will be many others on whom the SP can poach. So we'll have to see whether that is a likelihood. But I think Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav, given his past record, would probably want to strike a deal with the Congress, because anyone ruling in Lucknow will need a central backing. And to that extent, I think there is a strong possibility that tacitly, if not overtly, there could be some kind of a deal between the Congress and the Samajwadi Party.
A SP and a Congress alliance in UP, how do you think this will change Congress's equation with Trinamool Congress?
Well, to the extent that the Congress will have to depend much less upon a wholly unpredictable leader like Mamata, I think will give it a little bit of confidence in managing the UPA. You know, the UPA has been stricken by a sense of drift for a while. These poll results will certainly, as far as the Congress party is concerned, will shake the party down to the roots. It hasn't done nowhere as well as they expected to do. This much said, as far as the immediate prospects of stability are concerned, I think we will have a stable central government, and we will have a stable government in Lucknow as well.
So Dilip, I mean, will SP be UPA's ally for moving forward on key reforms like FDI and retail, something that the market wants?
I think if you see the record of the SP is in many ways far less populist than the Congress. The SP has been, at least in the past few years, and certainly under Akhilesh Yadav, been a much more modern, pragmatic party. And therefore, should the UPA government take a certain number of initiatives to hasten economic reforms, I think they can count on the SP for support. Now, mind you, this is a very interesting phenomenon, because even the BJP has no major ideological differences as far as the economic reforms are concerned. So a lot of give and take will happen in Parliament. We should expect a fairly stormy parliamentary budget session. But at the end of it all, if the Manmohan Singh government summons the political will, it can push through a certain number of reforms that have been held back. And this with the active support of the Samajwadi Party.
What about other issues? I mean, Dilip, can UPA too get its act together and move forward on some tough issues like fuel prices? Can it hike diesel and petrol prices? And can it progress on fiscal consolidation, which has been a miss up until now?
This budget session is the last opportunity that the UPA has in order to push through reforms in all these areas that you've just mentioned. Because the next budget session will be on the eve really of the general elections, and at that time you can count on the UPA to once again propose a populist budget. So the forthcoming budget really is going to be a test of the political will of the UPA. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I have no no indication so far that the UPA is willing to take the risks and push forward reforms in certain key sectors.
You think SP is unlikely to object to things like a fuel price hike, diesel price hike, petrol price hike, something which TMC has openly objected?
Well, that's what I keep on saying. If you take a careful look at what Akhilesh Yadav has been saying, I honestly don't think he's really mentioned things like fuel price and so on. And he is clued into what the economy needs at this particular point of time. And I reiterate, if there is a kind of an understanding between the Congress and the SP at the center and in Lucknow, you can legitimately hope that you can push forward a certain number of these reforms.
What about food security bill and MSP? Dilip, that is something which is very sensitive, and it is in the interest of SP to keep MSP prices up.
Well, there again, I would say that the food security bill is opposed by a lot of people, including one major ally of the Congress at the center. Mr. Sharad Pawar has been quite categorical. He is not at all happy with the food security bill, and there therefore will be Mr. Pawar, I think, will be one of those playing some sort of a lead to ensure that the food security bill just doesn't sail through. So we'll have to wait and watch. But as I said, the forthcoming budget is going to be a test of the political will of Manmohan Singh himself.
Dilip, what about the Samajwadi Party? Because their election manifesto clearly spoke of reservation for certain sections in engineering and other education institutes. But the state of education in UP itself requires a lot of investment and planning. Do you see SP walking the talk on this issue?
Well, you can say all kinds of things in the manifesto, but the ground realities are what they are. It's not going to be easy at all to develop a fine, sound educational infrastructure in UP, given the kind of record of the past. But once again, the SP is on the right track. I think the investments that they want to make in education, even if it comes along with the tag of reservations, is something that cannot be avoided. And I therefore see a major push in this direction as soon as the SP government is formed.
And final question, Mr. Padgaonkar, Uttar Pradesh was always a three-party battle, SP, BSP and Congress. But BJP has been the dark horse, and the early trends are indicating that BJP is a force to reckon with.
Absolutely. I think two major surprises, well, three major surprises of this election are the decimation of the BSP, the spectacular gains made by the BJP, and the less than average performance of Rahul Gandhi and his Congress party.